Hey everybody. So biggest news of the post no, it's not even post quarantine. Mid quarantine era period of time is the announcement of Joshua versus Fury. Finally. Let's fucking give props to Fury for making these fucking fights happen. Happen, man. Finally. And don't fucking kid yourself. It's because of Fury. It's because of Fury, my man. It's because of Fury. And if you have any doubt, let's put it together. Fury was the first one of these fuckers to fight fucking Klitschko. Fury was the first one to actually call out one of the top three, which is Wilder. And the only reason Joshua finally agreed to fight Fury is because he's not stupid. And I'll put that out in a second. It's because Joshua lost to Ruiz. So his stock went down considerably, man. Like I can't picture anyone worse to lose to than Ruiz. And I'm not trying to diss Ruiz, but in terms of like image, think about it. You've got somebody that looks like Ruiz, overweight, short, and you're this huge, buff, Adonis looking like Hercules, and you lose to that guy. What are people gonna? What is the public gonna think? What about your public image? It was the wrong man to lose to, man. And if you even know the backstory to that fight, even worse. Like, how many weeks? Like 2 or something? 2 weeks notice they gave Ruiz. And Ruiz came to fight, bro. Ruiz came and he had the fire, bro. He had the hunger. God bless Ruiz, man. He gave it his all. He deserved it. He deserves a rubber match, in my opinion. But okay. So his stock dropped. So he's no longer the A side. He has no right to call himself the A side when it comes to negotiations. So what does he do? All right, he notices that Fury's getting that serious money because he's actually gotten 2 fights out of Wilder, and Fury's also gotten a fight out of Klitschko. So that's what 1, 2, 3 pay-per-views Fury has under his belt. So Joshua, who's had 1 pay-per-view against Klitschko, and mind you, Joshua's toughest fight to date, other than Ruiz, was Klitschko. And that was like, guys, come on, that was Klitschko's last fucking fight of his entire career, man. Like, he knew he was gonna retire. And he still beat the shit out of fucking Joshua, dropped him and shit like that. And yeah, Joshua stopped him, but let's be real here. We're not talking about like a 30-year-old Klitschko. We're talking about like a 40, 41, 42-year-old Klitschko that gave Joshua, prior to Ruiz, is the toughest fight of his life. You know what I mean? You can't wear that as a medal for the rest of your life, But okay. So Joshua's stock is dwindling. He's noticing that Fury's making all this money. Time's not on Joshua's side. What is he going to do? He's going to start at the top of the ladder and demand fights, which is the smartest thing to do from a business aspect. Why? Because he's going to make the most money out of that fight against Fury, right? Win or lose. If he wins, great, even better. But if he loses, he still gets the right to ask Wilder for a fight, and that can still be 50-50 because both of them lost to fucking Fury in that case. So, that's where the business aspect of it comes, and that's why we're seeing this fight be made like that. So it's a bullshit reason why the fight's being made so quick, but at the same time, like, we can't complain, I guess. At least it's finally getting made. But in my opinion, and I've gotten some backlash behind this, is I've stated that I think this will be Fury's toughest fight yet. And people are like saying, oh, how can you say that? Like, didn't you see him walk through Wilder, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, and like, You don't understand. Let's look at Fury's second to last fight prior Wilder, where he fought some other European guy or something. Like Fury didn't look too good in that fight, right? Fury was Fury got caught with something. I forget what it was. He was either a punch or a headbutt, but it split his eye open, and then the guy was giving Fury a run for his money, like using both like boxing and dirty tactics, this and that, And I have a I have an interesting opinion and view on like dirty tactics. I actually respect, don't misquote me here, but I respect if you can use dirty tactics the same way that Roberto Duran used dirty tactics, or Vander Holyfield used dirty tactics. Uh, who else? Hopkins uses dirty tactics. Mayweather uses dirty tactics. There's a right way to use dirty tactics, and there's a wrong way to use dirty tactics. The right way is if you can be artistic with it, like the same way Duran was, like when he throw low blows but like hide them from the ref, which would eventually lead him to a win. Or when Mayweather uses his forearm, I think he uses his forearms. People say he uses his elbow, but he's not trying to like elbow the shit out of you. It's just like, if your face happens to be where his elbow is, like, good luck. Same way with Vander Holyfield. Like, man's going to fucking dip his head, like, you better not be in the way of that fucking head. Head's like a fucking haymaker in and of its own. But okay. Yeah, I forget where I was going with the dirty tactics thing, but anyway, so uh right, so Fury was fighting that guy, okay, and the other guy was using dirty tactics, and Fury somehow, oh, and the guy was rubbing his glove on like the cut that Fury had above his eye. I thought, clever, but like, he didn't do it subliminally. Like, the referee obviously could tell like that's what he was trying to do, and like, it's a fight, man. Like, it's a fight. This guy's trying to like make it. This guy's trying to like make it to the next level, earn himself that $1 million paycheck by beating Fury. Like, that guy's going to do what it takes to fucking win. If it's going to take him to like perhaps permanently ruin Fury's eye, like, that's what it's going to take. So you can't really bitch about it. But Fury got through it. He won, and then people were saying, "Oh, this guy's going to beat Wilder in the rematch? Are you fucking kidding me?" In the meantime, Wilder fights Luis Ortiz in the rematch, and he just like knocks him out with a clean right hand. Yeah, I mean, people thought Wilder was going to win this time. Even I thought Wilder was probably going to win this time, and that's one of my biggest regrets, is that I didn't have faith in Fury. But Jesus, I'm so glad I bought the second pay-per-view and saw the rematch. And I'm not going to talk about that fight too much. I'm just going to say that I'm just so glad I saw that, and Fury put on something worthy of an Ali versus Liston display. Like, in my opinion, Fury is this generation's Ali. I mean, like, you can't say he's the Ali, but he's this generation's Ali. Like, he's the closest thing to him. I mean, think about it. He talks like Ali in a way, his own way. He's very vocal. He adheres to his faith really well, just like Ali. He's fearless, just like Ali. He's had his struggles and he's overcome them, just like Ali. Like, in my opinion, he's this generation's Ali. So God bless him. But okay. So Fury versus Wilder was boxer versus a boxer who dances just like Ali versus a puncher. Puncher with like really no grace or style, just a fucking puncher. One of the hardest punches in history, no doubt, but like, Fury is also one of the best heavyweight dancers of all time as well. Like, the guy has the technique, good technique, enough technique to like avoid getting hit by that right hand for the most part. But okay, so he did what he had to do against Wilder. But now you're going up against Joshua, and what is Joshua? Joshua's a boxer puncher. So now you've got a guy who hits hard. I don't think he hits as hard as Wilder, but he hits pretty damn close. And dangerous part is he's got technique as well. So what do you do when you have a guy in front of you that hits hard and can, and has good precision and accuracy as well, and the tools to land that shot? Well, now you've got to step up your game. You can't just you're gonna have to be on point the night of the fight. And I'm trying to think of the times where I've seen the holes in Fury's game, the holes in Joshua's game, and there are you just gotta watch the fights where Joshua had trouble. So where did he have trouble? There was only 2 fights I've seen him have trouble. Wilder, Klitschko and Ruiz. In Ruiz, in the Ruiz fight, you could say that maybe he just didn't prepare. Maybe the problem there was that Joshua didn't take his opponent seriously, because this is what happens a lot of the time against with fighters that are just on top of the world, destroying everybody that comes to oppose them. It's called the Mike Tyson syndrome. You think you're just invincible. There's never been a fighter like you. Why even prepare? And even worse, your regular opponent just dropped out, and you have a guy in front of you. You got a guy who weighs 320 pounds, obese, and he only has 2 weeks notice to even fight you. It's like me doing first grader's homework in my head. I'm trying to put myself in Joshua's perspective. Perhaps he was thinking this way, maybe not, but it's why do I have to do this first grader's homework? I can do it the morning of. So maybe he didn't prepare too well for that fight, so maybe it's overconfidence, but I don't think he's gonna be overconfident for this fight at all. So but also when he knocked down Ruiz, he tried to finish Ruiz off, but he's not really as good a finisher as we thought he was. He burnt himself out. He punched himself out trying to get rid of Ruiz, and that cost him, because Ruiz came back and knocked him down and was better able to finish him off the rest of the fight. In fact, Joshua, you could say, never recovered, and there's a lot of reasons you could say he never recovered. It was maybe because of the muscle mass on him and this and that. It's a lot of reasons that you could explain it. In fact, people said that for the rematch with Ruiz, Joshua got rid of all that muscle mass because he realized, all right, I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm not a model, I'm a fighter. I don't need all this muscle that's going to inhibit me from actually being able to fight efficiently. Because at the end of the day, muscle, if you're training to fight, you're not going to gain muscle. You're just going to have just enough to be able to do what you need to do in the ring. Muscle is not an asset to fighting, but okay. So Joshua is not as good a finisher as we thought, especially if you have a chin, right? Of course. And 2, he himself is a bit chinny. You can crack him and he will, do the Bambi dance. So Fury has power. Let's not kid ourselves. He's a dancer, he's a boxer, but he's got precision and he can crack you. He knocked down Wilder, and Wilder, as far as I know, I've only seen Wilder down once, and that was in an amateur fight. So the guy is not the Marvin Hagler of heavyweights. In fact, Fury knocked him down multiple times in that fight. Could have possibly killed him, but if he can just land one good clean shot on Joshua, and I think Wilder has a better chin than Joshua as well. Yeah, Joshua's going down, dude. And Joshua does not recover as well either. And when it comes to who has like the best technique out of everyone that Joshua's faced, of course Fury. Who has the best head movement? Of course Fury. Who can recover? Who has good like stamina and like who can come back and like recover from like a knockdown? Fury, bro. Like, did you not see how he came back from the dead from that like second knockdown in the first Wilder fight? Like, these are all things you've got to consider. So, in my opinion, who wins this one? I think 75% chance Fury wins this. So, if I were a betting man, yeah, I would bet Fury. How is it going to end? That's a tough one. I'm gonna be a fanboy on this one and say TKO in the 10th. TKO in the 10th. Number of knockdowns, I'm gonna say one knockdown in the 8th, and the other one in the 9th, and then finally it gets finished in the 10th. And that's my view on that fight happening in the near future. I don't think the contracts have been signed just yet, but it's been like, you know, verbally verified that the fight's happening, this and that. So you got that to look forward to. But okay, guys, so I'm glad I made this video. I'm glad you guys heard me out. Leave a comment, a like, subscribe, and we'll get to some more videos in the future. Bye.